Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy to have you around. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your day. We greatly appreciate the company. Want to find out more information about those sponsors? The WisconsinVegetableGardener.com is the place to go. The WisconsinVegetableGardener.com underneath the Money tab and the Radio 9 tab at the top of the page. Time for your garden questions and our garden answers. Send them on over, gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com, or toll free, coast to coast, 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. Let's go to the hotline. We have a question.
I understand the state of Texas has just authorized fracking water to be used on agriculture. That was signed into legislation apparently in June of this year. And I'm wondering what effect that's going to have on different crops. If you know anything about fracking water and pollution, how is that going to affect the quality of the food? All right, thanks. And I'm David. I'm out in San Francisco. Thanks.
Well, thank you, David, for listening to us in San Francisco, way out there, listening to us via podcast. We don't have a station out there, but we have listeners literally in all 50 states, provinces, and around the world. So fracking, he's asking about, is this water that they're going to use for these agricultural crops safe for animal and or crop use?
So, no, it's not. And I digged into some pretty comprehensive research here.
Data.
I do have a degree in environmental science, so I kind of know how to look into these things a little bit more deeply, and it's not looking good. This fracking water can...
Well, first of all, if people are familiar with, know the term, but don't understand the operation, what is occurring is they're
taking the water that is...
But they pump the oil out of the well,
yeah,
and then the natural water comes in, and they're pressurizing that water. They're pumping that water out to utilize it for areas that are what most people consider very dry conditions to utilize the groundwater. However, that groundwater is contaminated because of the oil that was in that pocket underground and other chemicals that the mine may use in order to extract that oil.
So they call it fracking wastewater or produced water, and it can contain a lot of hazardous substances that can accumulate in agricultural soil, and it can be absorbed by crops. So this includes heavy metals such as arsenic, barium, cadmium, chromium, and lead. It can all be present in this water. And then also they have a high level of salinity. This could harm plant growth. That high level of salt is not good for plant growth. They also have not good organic compounds. So this includes things like volatile organic compounds, which can degrade soil quality and have a negative effect of toxicity. Also, it can reduce crop yields. It can poison the livestock and cause reproductive issues in livestock, but also in humans as well, because it has these endocrine disruptors in that wastewater, and that can cause reproductive issues. On top of that, it does increase carcinogenic exposure. So
cancer causing.
Yeah, it's cancer causing, and then it can increase chronic illness and developmental problems. So in short, it's not good.
Is there any reason, was you able to find out any conclusion of why they're doing such a thing?
I didn't look into that. I'm assuming there's a lot of drought conditions in Texas, and I don't know if they think
true,
this is the
but
solution.
if you have and we're not scientists, you got a degree in environmental science, we're not politicians, and we're not getting fed money to say certain things either.
I mean, I am technically a scientist, but yes. Yeah. But we're not politicians.
There's some singers that are so-called astronauts, but we won't get into that. But if you're in an area where super drought conditions exist, okay, here's a source in which we can utilize to reduce that drought condition. However, what we can use in order to create less drought is going to do even more harm than the drought itself. That doesn't seem like it's a win-win.
I don't know. I don't want to dig
that seems like Michael Scott math.
I don't want to get too deep into this because we have other questions.
Yes.
I would say that
that is the scientific answer.
That is a scientific answer, and it's not good. Like it's something that people should be aware of, and
just because you see it on your favorite news station that you trust and believe, that doesn't mean you can't use your very expensive handheld computer to do your own research, to find out other sources, to find out, verify, and understand what's really going on. I have 2 pumpkins growing all summer now, and last week I had found 6 to 8 new ones that are in small size on the vine. Is there any benefit to removing the 2 larger ones to try to get the smaller ones to grow before the fall festival time comes, as I like to decorate my front porch with pumpkins? I just want to backtrack.
Okay,
here go ahead.
It is because of the impending water crisis in Texas, and they have an increasing population. Right. So that's also causing issues as well.
So one bad thing to try to fix another bad thing.
Right. Anyway, back to the pumpkins.
As it being this late in the season, and in some portions of the country being as cool as it is, those little pumpkins are probably not going to do any good. You should be happy with the 2 larger ones that you have been growing all season. You can remove those if they are ripe on the vine, and there are some techniques in which you can coat the outer portion of the pumpkin in order to prolong the life of it to get the most out of the decorative needs you have on your porch. You can leave the smaller ones on, but I don't think with the conditions that we are seeing, even if it's with the cool nights and the shorter days, that you're going to get much return out of those smaller pumpkins.
Is this my sister's question?
No.
Okay. No. My sister's growing a beautiful. She only has 1 pumpkin.
Only 1 pumpkin, but it's a pretty one.
It is a pretty one. She had some little pumpkins growing. That's why I asked.
Should I add compost to my beds now or in the spring? And the answer is yes. Either one is acceptable, because if you add compost now, it's still going to be good compost in the spring. However, my recommendations is, if you can do it now, there's 2 benefits. One, your growing season, if you've got beds that are available or areas that you can top dress and add compost to, go ahead. You might be able to get a better rate per ton at your garden center and have it delivered. And 2, you've got time. We've talked about this on the program. In the spring, it's like a switch goes off, and I needed to get everything. I should have been doing stuff 2 weeks ago, because now it's warm and I feel like I'm behind, and now I've got to add compost on top of the other things I'm wanting to get done in the garden. Try to do it now and see if you can get a better rate on the product from your local independent garden center in bulk, because that's going to be your better financial benefit there.
And I don't know where this person lives, but our springs have just been like all over the board.
We went recently, a couple of weeks ago, we went from summer to fall, like in 24 hours.
But now it's more like late summer, early fall weather. So
I bought some organic compost. However, it is extremely hydrophobic. What should I do to fix it? Now, hydrophobic is a term used that it repels water. It's not absorbing moisture. It's so dry. It's like trying to get hot sand to pick up moisture. It's really very dry. And we've seen this in potting soil mixes. So there's a couple of options again with this situation. Sometimes you just need to put it in a couple of 5-gallon buckets, take your bag and mix it and divvy it up in a couple of 5-gallon buckets and add water, and then just keep stirring and mixing it in. Also, what you can do is use warm water. Warm water hydrates hydrophobic soil much easier and much more effective than just cold tap water or cold water out of the hose. So either way is a means in which you can go ahead and utilize your getting that compost or that compost to absorb some moisture.